Hello, my friends. Glad to be with you again. Let's talk about a subject almost nobody ever talks about. It's called the law of attraction. For me, the law of attraction is really the law of assumption. This is what Neville Goddard would call it. You're not attracting anything, you're manifesting from the quantum field, that which already exists. Quantum buffet, if you will. All possibilities already exist. All you need to do is pull one from the shelf that you desire. How cool is that?
And the quantum field is an invisible field of energy, of frequency, that's filled, fertile with possibility and information.
Neville says it this way. He says, creation is finished. And he often quotes the scripture about Christ when the woman touched the hem of his robe and he felt virtue go out of him. I will elaborate a little bit on that later on in this video, on why Neville uses that example. It's pretty cool, actually. As Joe might say, all possibilities already exist. All you need to do is tune into them. As Nikola Tesla once said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, you need to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So the big question is, how do we tune in? I'm going to explain exactly how to do that as we get into this further. However, there's an optimum time and method for doing this that makes it much, much simpler. You're going to have to watch to the end though to get it. See what I did there? If you're already into Neville or Joe, you may already get what I'm talking about. However, even a lot of Neville and Joe students still miss this one little twist. Okay, here we go. So what if I told you that you're already doing it? What would you say? Okay, Blaine, so why does my life suck then? Simple. It's because you're doing it passively. You don't know you're doing it. You're assuming a state right now. You wake up in the morning, you do the same routine, think the same thoughts. That is creating your state for that day. And you wonder why things don't change sometimes, right? It's like I said, it's like there's a quantum buffet of anything you want to bring into your life. All you have to do is choose it or assume the state of having it. Neville asks, so how would you feel if you already had what it is you desire? You assume that state with the feeling of already having received what it is you desire. As Joe might say, you actually need to change who you are, how you think, change your routine. Thoughts are things, my friends. Your thoughts and your beliefs determine your reality. You're expecting the same things day in and day out by the thoughts that you think, and you're assuming that state. That's what makes you feel like a victim sometimes. You have to derail that. You have to break the habit of being yourself. In fact, Joe Dispenza has written a book entitled Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and I will put a link in the description to that book. It's worth the read, my friends. It really is. Okay, Blaine, all well and good. So how do I do it then? Simple. You conjure up a scene that represents the wish fulfilled or the end result of your desire. And then you feel the feelings of that scene as if it's already happened. This is tapping into the quantum field, my friends. So how do you do that? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say you have your favorite car sitting out there in the driveway. Okay, you already know it's there. You're not constantly thinking, when am I going to get that car? When am I going to have that car? That's a mistake that a lot of people fall into. They conjure up their scene, they imagine it, they feel the feelings, and then they're looking for it as if it's not there yet. You have to assume a state of already having, okay? That's one of the keys to this whole thing. You feel and know that you already have it. You're excited that you have it. How wonderful it feels to have that car sitting out there that you can drive anytime you want.
If you're living in the feeling of your future every single day, you would never look for it.
Here's the keys to the car. Actually, pun intended, it's the keys to the quantum field, my friend. Your subconscious is the door to the quantum field. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference of whether that car is actually sitting out there or not. All it knows is your feeling that it already is there. And that invokes the field and bring into your life that which you desire. By assuming that state, it pulls your selection off the quantum shelf, so to speak. It will move heaven and earth to give you that which you selected, to manifest it into the 3D world. It's kind of like soil. All you need to do is plant a seed, and the soil will do what it does and grows whatever you plant. Now, can you see this is why you're doing it already? You're already planting seeds in that soil, my friend. Every thought, every belief is a seed, and it can only bring forth fruit after its own kind. You've been planting or selecting from the quantum field, yet you didn't know that you were. And this is why you may have felt like a victim of unseen circumstances or forces. You're not unworthy or unlucky or undeserving. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to do all sorts of work or take a course, rituals, or clear the chakras, or even sacrifice a chicken and that sort of thing. You have to know how to assume the state of the wish fulfilled with all the feelings that go with it. I'm going to tell you the best and optimum time right now, but there's still one little twist still to come. The best and the optimum time to conjure up this scene is right before you fall asleep. Why is that? Because just before you're ready to fall asleep, you're entering into what is called the Theta State. You may be in alpha heading into the Theta State. And this is the meditative state for most types of meditations. And the reason this is important is because this is the door to your subconscious. This unlocks the door to your subconscious. This allows you to put things into your subconscious without all the noise and the filters and the dogma of waking consciousness, such as your thoughts and beliefs like, oh, this is impossible, you can't do this. That is the optimum time to do this. Or if you're a meditator, you can do this when you're meditating too, and you enter into that theta state. Okay, here's what you've been waiting for. Here's that little twist that I've been telling you, and that is breath and breathing. If you take 3 or 4 breaths, this is something that Neville teaches, and Joe teaches a variation of this too. If you take 3 or 4 breaths while you're conjuring up that scene in your mind, okay, and feeling those feelings, you can feel kind of a build-up to it. Now, this is something that I myself have done, and it works. You feel sort of a build-up as things start to reach a crescendo and sort of, I don't want to say explode. Neville says explode in your brain, but for me, that's not how it feels, but it does feel like a crescendo. And then here's where that scripture comes in about virtue going out of you. It feels like something goes out of you. And you'll know, then you'll kind of know that it's done. And you won't have a desire to do this again. You could do this up to about 3 times, I guess, if you don't feel like it's done that. But don't worry if you feel like you're not doing it right or not doing it well enough. Don't worry about that. Just do the best you can. Once you do this, let it go. Don't be thinking, oh, when's it going to show up? When's it going to show up? Just forget about it and go about your business. In fact, if you do this breathing technique, it will help you forget about it. You'll forget about it, and then all of a sudden you'll get your wish fulfilled, and all of a sudden you'll remember, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. The thing that seems to get in the way of this, my friends, is our unbelief. All that cultural dogma and belief that we've been taught and grown up with. That's the only thing that, if we allow it to get in the way, you need to just kind of set that stuff aside for right now and give it a try. You don't have to take my word or anybody's word for it. Give it a try. See for yourself. If you're not familiar with Joe Dispenza, look into him. And Joe has a lot of science and studies that he's done and others have done on this, that he tries to approach it from a more scientific point of view, but he does a real good job of bringing the mystical and the science together. And science is beginning to catch up with the ancient wisdom with quantum physics.
You can travel through times, travel in a mystical moment to a childhood memory that defined you, and you can see yourself as your adult self and have compassion for that child and get the understanding that that child didn't have at that time, and it'll change your biology in a second.
Say this works whether you believe it or not, because you're doing it. You're doing it every single day of your life. This is how the universe works. Who knew, right? When you understand that things aren't happening to you, they're happening from you, it will change your whole life, my friends. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. Look for the good in all things. Keep moving forward, my friends, and just try it. Go ahead. I dare you.